Right, I have just started reading the book Making Deep Games. I've leafed through it, but it has sparked off a few other ideas that I've had over the last while. In Trivial Pursuits, we tend to take a die, and each player has a pie, and by landing on different areas, spaces, we answer a question and we get a pie if we get the question right. This book, Making Deep Games, is about understanding somebody's inner experience and possibly something they want to develop and making a game to match that. So my idea is to use the structure on the board of Trivial Pursuits and make a new game, which I'm going to call the Desired Outcome. And the way Desired Outcome would work is one or more players would start with the same sort of piece, would take a die and move around the board in much the same way as Trivial Pursuit. They would have to start with blue being the top, and instead of G being about geography, E being about entertainment, etc., G would be Desired Outcome, which is linked to clean language coaching, a method of getting what one wants and developing an understanding of your experience. So the person would land on a blue square, if they land on a blue square, they don't get anything until they land on a blue square. If they land on a blue square, somebody would ask them a desired outcome question, such as, and what would you like to have happen? And essentially there's a bit of honesty needed that the answer is something the person wants. They're not trying to avoid a problem. It's a relatively clear answer. At some simple level, a useful answer that matches desired outcome, in which case they have a blue segment, and then they can pursue the other items in whatever order they like, in much the same way as Trivial Pursuit. But if they get a purple if they land in a purple square box, then you would look for necessary conditions and an answer to a question such as, and what needs to happen for whatever the desired outcome was to happen. So if the answer is I want to run a marathon, what needs to happen for you to run a marathon could be I need to do lots of training. Other areas would be about sequence, what needs to happen, or sorry, what happens just before doing lots of training, or what happens after doing lots of training. And these are standard clean language questions. They are available from the Clean Change Company, and I'm making my own interpretation of how to use these. They are Clean Change cards. There's also something relatively similar about Clean in a Box from Clean Learning. I think it's .co.uk. And you could use your own based on clean language books, but these might be handy for people. And essentially, each player, with a little bit of honesty and a bit of encouragement, one question from the other players, or perhaps say 3 questions, they would be supported to be able to come up with each area and eventually fill the pie up and therefore win the game, but more importantly gain awareness of what they want. So a location might be, and where is marathon? Or where is if the person had talked about persistence needed to run a marathon, then where is persistence is a valid question, and they may say in my stomach or in my chest or something like that. Relationships, and is there a relationship between persistence and running a marathon? Level or perceiver is a bit more awkward. I think it's useful. It could be simplified down into something else, but some general questions, and is there anything else about that, could develop an awareness in the other person that's a little bit different. It's from a different perceiver. What the people on the finishing line might think of them, whoever, somebody else that they have already mentioned. According to the rules of how you ask clean language questions, you only would ask about what the person has already mentioned, or it may be a different level. They may think of running marathons as being a seeing a connection in some way about how they pursue things in general. I've just realized I don't have metaphors here, so you could have level, perceiver, or metaphor there. There we go, the game is complete. Feel free to use this if you want to, or comment on it. I started a Facebook group, Clean Language Private Discussions, but there's also a very good group, Clean Language Open Community, on Facebook. I hope somebody will try this out and let me know how it works.